Hey y'all, today we're here to talk about, are group fitness classes safe after you've had a baby? What should you be considering before you go back to your group fitness classes after you've had your baby? And I'm so excited to dive into it. Before we talk about that, I want to let you know that I have a free webinar coming up on September 27th that's actually going to dive in a little deeper to a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in this video. If you're watching it past September 27th, then the replay is also available. Either way, you can find the link for that webinar and all of the information for it through that link in the description of this video. So let's dive into it. I want to talk about group fitness after you've had a baby. I personally love group fitness for a lot of reasons. I think group fitness classes give people accountability and that social connection and community that people love, and that helps them stay very consistent with their fitness goals. I think that group fitness classes for the most part are like fun, high energy that you don't necessarily get when you're working out by yourself. It also gives you that like plug and play. You don't have to think about it. You just have to show up because the coach has already programmed it for you. The coach is there and they're going to tell you exactly what to do. So I think that group fitness classes have a lot of benefit for most people, especially if it is the type of fitness that you enjoy and it's what keeps you active and keeps you moving. Then that's great. I love it. There are some things that come with group fitness classes and why you probably shouldn't be jumping straight back into your classes like Orange Theory, F45, HIIT classes, really any type of group class, including Pilates, bar classes, stuff like that. And we're going to jump into it and we're going to talk about why maybe it's not the best idea to go straight back into it right away. Okay, the first reason that you shouldn't jump back into your favorite group fitness class right away after having a baby, or really it just shouldn't be the first step back into exercise and back into fitness postpartum, is because programming for those classes, meaning the exercises and the workout that's planned for those classes, are made with a non-healing body in mind. So after you've had your baby, you do have healing tissues and you have windows of healing time and things that need to be considered, because even if it was a beautiful pregnancy, it very, very smoothly. The labor and delivery was very smooth and there were no complications. You still have healing tissues and a healing body. And the programming for those workouts were not made with that population in mind, which means that you have to be very comfortable with making your own modifications to the workout and to the exercises that are planned. And that can feel really intimidating in a group setting when everybody else is doing the workout, everybody else is doing their own thing. And especially if you don't have a background in fitness or a background in any sort of training or rehab, then how do you know which exercises to modify and what to modify, especially in a class where everybody's kind of doing the same thing? That's one of the big barriers I see to people jumping straight back in, or that being their first stop back into exercise and back into fitness postpartum, is that you should expect for there to have to be a lot of modifications made to that programming, and you need to be prepared for that or adequately armed with the knowledge that it takes to be able to do that, especially in a group setting. The second reason I probably wouldn't suggest jumping straight back into a group fitness class postpartum, or making that your first stop back into fitness postpartum, is because these classes typically move very quickly. So it depends on the type of workout, of course, but for the most part, these group classes are made to be high energy, energetic, and fun, which just means that they're naturally moving very quickly and the coaches are pushing you to move quickly. That's not always the case, but there is a certain pace that the class keeps up with and that the whole group is expected to keep up with. And the problem with that is that postpartum, there are a lot of movement patterns, stabilization patterns, your breathing patterns, lots of things that we need to retrain and reteach our body how to do automatically, that we need to slow it down to be able to monitor ourselves and monitor that that's happening correctly. So we don't want to risk moving too too quickly through our workouts, through our exercises, before those automatic bracing and movement patterns are built back into our systems. Because then if we're moving too quickly, we might not be very good at making sure that it's all happening correctly and in a safe way and in a way that's not going to cause us injury or cause us some sort of dysfunction down the road. So instead, we need to really take our time and be in a setting when we first start getting back into exercises and first start getting back into fitness after having a baby. We need to be in a position where we can move slow enough that we can really self-monitor and make sure we know how we're moving, what muscles we're using, where we're bracing from. And sometimes group fitness just isn't really set up for that. Doesn't mean that group fitness is a bad thing. It just might mean that we have a little work to do before we can jump back into that class. The third reason that I probably wouldn't suggest jumping right back into a group fitness or group workout class postpartum is because just naturally in a group setting, a coach's attention is divided between all of the clients that are in that class and participating in that workout. And as a whole, I don't really see that as a bad thing most of the time, but postpartum, there's going to be some natural patterns that aren't already there. And I would much rather see someone take the time where they're working out on their own, they're doing some exercises on their own, or maybe one-on-one with somebody where they can feel like they get that sense of empowerment and to be able to self-monitor to make sure that they're doing things the right way, that they're bracing the right way, that they're breathing the right way, using the right muscles, all of that stuff. I think when you go in somewhere that has a coach, you naturally rely on that coach to do that for you. And the problem in a group fitness class is that there's just no way, even the very best coach who has the very best technique and very best eye for if you're doing things correctly and the best cueing and all of that, in a group setting, there's just no way that they can watch you and monitor you as closely as what you need to be monitored when you're getting back into doing exercises and workouts postpartum, to make sure that you're doing that in a safe way and in a way that's building good habits back into your system, not compensating, and then you're continuing with those compensation patterns that eventually lead to injury or lead to you having to backtrack and rehab something because you created dysfunction in the system because it wasn't caught early on. So again, I'm definitely not anti-group fitness, anti-group workouts. I think that settings like that provide a lot of benefit for a lot of people, and there's a lot of great reasons to participate in group workouts and group fitness classes. I just think that we need to be really mindful, especially postpartum, if that's the best setting for us to be in. And for most people, immediately postpartum, it just shouldn't be the first step back into exercising and the first step back into working out, but it could for sure be a great goal to get back to after you've built those foundations and you feel like you can join in, even if we're still having to do a little bit of modifying, even if we're having to slow things down from time to time. Having the knowledge and the confidence that you stopped and you built those foundations and you have confidence in your body and confidence in your ability to know what you need to do for your body and to keep your body safe, that's when jumping back into group fitness is great and can give you that community back. It can give you that accountability back and all of the fun stuff that comes with group fitness and group workouts. I again want to direct you and invite you to my free webinar that's coming up on September 27th, 3 things that you can start doing right away to feel like you have more control and more strength from your core and your pelvic floor. My promise to you from that webinar is that you're going to walk away with very tangible steps that you can do to start immediately feeling better supported by your core and your pelvic floor. That webinar is also the kickoff to launch week for my new program, Conquer Core Foundations. Conquer Core Foundations is actually a great place to start if you're newly postpartum or if you have been postpartum postpartum for a while now and just never backtracked and rebuilt that foundational strength. So those automatic patterns, automatic bracing patterns, movement patterns, all of that I was talking about earlier in the video before jumping into something like group fitness, that is what this program is geared towards, helping you rebuild and make automatic again, and also to build that foundational level of strength that we want you to have before you jump back into higher level workouts, running, hiking, lifting, Orange Theory, F45, you name it. I have helped women rehab back to it postpartum in a way that they feel strong and confident and symptom free. And so I am finally putting that step-by-step same progression that I take patients through in person in the clinic into this program that you can do on your own from the comfort of your own home or your own gym. It's also a hybrid of an educational course. So while you'll get weekly workouts that progress over a 12-week period, you'll also get the core and pelvic floor education that you would normally get when you go see a pelvic floor PT in person. So it combines the two. Information for that is also down in the description of this video, but the best place to start truly is that free webinar, either live on September 27th or watching the replay of it. Through that webinar, you're going to get an early bird access to the program. If it is before that launch week, you're going to get to access it first with an early bird discount. If it's after the live launch of the program, there's still going to be a discount associated through that webinar. And either way, there's going to be a really great bonus that you can only have access to through the webinar. So everywhere else that the program is sold, the bonus will not be included. You won't be able to access it, but through that webinar, you get the bonus completely for free. And it is another piece of the program that I typically will do with patients when they're in that stage of rebuilding their foundational strength. So if you're interested in either the webinar or just getting more information about Conquer Core Foundations, make sure you check out the links that are listed in the description of this video. I hope this video was super helpful. I hope it helped you to realize how strong your body truly can be, and that we don't have to be afraid of all the things that people have lied to us about after we've had a baby when it comes to our bodies, comes to our strength, and what we can get back to doing postpartum. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section below so that I can get to them, and I'll see you next week.